Well, hello YouTube, just Paul again here today. Have another radio which we're going to go through and talk about, and yes, it is another Cybernet Mark 1 chassis. Today I'm looking at the Tedelex TE-6000. This is I restored two of these previously. This is the CB9SA. The 9SA stands for obviously South Africa's 9 channels. Bit of history, these were brought into the country by Dick Smith and a couple of other importers, and were converted to 18 channel and sold over the counter that way, and then at a later stage converted to 40 channels. 40 channel switches, again Cybernet Mark 1, were available around 1984, and most owners of these upgraded them. So this radio has very similar features to other radios that I've showcased in the past, with the exception of the RF gain is actually on a switch. This radio, it hasn't got its original knobs. If you have a look at the clarifier, swerve, dimmer, channel selector, all of those, they are the wrong knobs. I'll just insert and show you the correct knobs. Okay, this is from my showcase. As you can see, the knobs are, well, this one looks brand new. This is one of my restored ones. This one had a complete restoration, no money or expense spared. The faceplate was repaired, detailed, sprayed, knobs detailed, sprayed. Everything was done, down to having a new faceplate made up, and I stuck that onto the panel. All right, so there you go. That's what the knobs should look like. So there was a little bit of buyer's remorse on this one because I paid way too much for it. But it was for the purposes of having another Tedelex, because these are actually quite rare. So today we're just going to do a quick test. The radio, check to see if it's working, have a look inside, go over that. For the purposes of today, I'm running a 1 kilowatt dummy load. I have the Avere power meter. I have my DC power source at 12 volts only, and I have my small frequency counter. Alright, so we're going to turn it on. Alright, so the switches are SRF F meter choice from Calibration VSWR, noise blanker, RF gain, clarifier of course, mode select, volume, swirl, dimmer, and on the swelsh we have the PA switch. So if we turn it full way down, it's now on PA. Unclick, it squelches on the minimum. Then a modulation light, which is for the purposes of AM. So this one is a 40. Okay. Now these they generally take around about 10 to 15 minutes to warm up. So you can see the dimmer. Right, so the purposes of this test, we're on AM. Right, so it's 400 Hertz off, too high. We're looking at the bottom scale, it's bang on 5 watts. The meter is showing just a little too much. That needs adjustment. Go to 40. Just under 5 watts. Again 400 Hertz off, and the meter is showing a bit too much. Just do a little test on SSB. Test 1, 2, all. So it's just over 12 watts on 40. Testing 1, 2, all. About 13 watts on channel 1, lower sideband. Okay, to show you how the SRF works, we put it into calibration. carrier, the little square box up there, we adjust the meter to that. There we go. Pull that down. Now it's reading a 1.1. But it just moves. And I know that dummy load is 1.0 at 51 ohms. Alright, so there's the radio. So what I'm going to do is just go over the faceplate. I'll turn it down. So as we go over it, this has not been cleaned. It's missing a bit of paint on the leading edges, as I'd expect. There's no extra holes down that side. This hole here is stripped. Top cover looks good. Also, it's got the original Tedelex mic. Most that I've come across in the past don't have them, and I've had to find this mic and from another radio just to at least make it look like. Looks very similar to an Apollo mic. Okay, so we're on the bottom side of the board. It's obviously had, good sign is no tracks cut, but it has had a another O2A chip put in. The VCO, the tabs here from the VCO, it's obviously been replaced, are not grounded. There's one in there which is broken off. Problem with these VCOs, you remove them from a parts radio and the tabs just don't like being rebent again and they just break off. So what should have happened is some tin put through there or wire, and then you solder it to the chassis of the VCO. As we look through here, everything else looks relatively intact. It's missing a capacitor here. Underneath here, which is your 1969 final and driver, and there's signs of it being replaced. There's a lot of gooky stuff here, but that's pretty good considering the radio's age. Now turn it over, and the first thing I notice is the extra hole. And if we look at the back, there's two extra holes here, and all the wrong screws have been used on the panel. Alright, the wrong filter for this has been put back into it, but obviously if you're desperate for parts, you take them from any Cybernet. This is the replaced VCO, which I'm probably going to order a Razer Radio's VCO to put into this one. The 40 selector looks pretty good, Nick. I can't really see any other mysterious hackery. No. I'll have to check those two holes. There's a bracket that is missing that goes around the two outputs here, the speaker and PA, two speaker sockets. So that may be why those two holes are there. Other than that, it looks relatively good. It has had obviously something done because the back of the cover under that hole has been cut. Again, this cover may have been from another radio, I don't know, because there's No sign in this radio that it's had your normal tracks being cut on the O2A chip here. It has had a lot of resoldering done. I can see here, looks like a voltage regulator has been replaced at some point. It's not very good. The soldering there. I've got to check up on this here. There's a capacitor missing from here. Just there. The audio IC has been replaced at some point. There's a lot of mess here. That needs to be cleaned up. The flux. Yeah. Again, a lot of money for a radio that's well and truly not perfect. Alright, so what have we got planned for this radio? First of all, I'm going to do a brand new faceplate for this. After I clean, I'll take the steel inlay out, fix up all of the side marks, the gouges on the faceplate, and repaint. Fill the holes in the bottom cover with a black resin, and I've got an idea. Razor Radios has these nitro backlit boards, which I have several sets of. I've got to put them together. What I might do is go and source the original shape knobs and in clear and do a nitro install on all of these. And I've got several colour choices I can choose from, and I'll also do the display the same colour, but probably do a red TRX on it. So the only reason I'm thinking of doing that is that I don't have the original knobs, and I'm unable to find any. So the radio's already been a little bit butchered. The screws are the wrong size. They're re-tapping the thread. One thread is out. I've got to fix that with the case issues and other things that are being done. But the point of the exercise is that we bring back to life again this highly sought after Cybernet MK1 Tedelex TE-6000 from circa 1984, brought in by Dick Smith Electronics in Australia. Alright, that's your lot. Thank you very much, and remember, comment, like and subscribe. Cheers guys.